Okay, let's unpack this. Think about that quiet moment when an idea sparks, that flicker of an entrepreneurial dream.
Yeah,
It's that desire to build something from the ground up, to transform a vision into a thriving business.
hmm
It promises incredible rewards, but, well, for many, it feels less like a clear path and more like staring at a dense jungle without a map.
exactly. The sheer scope of what goes into turning an abstract idea into a concrete, viable venture can be truly overwhelming. Like,
Yeah.
where do you even begin?
And that's precisely why today we're diving deep into the blueprint for turning that dream into reality. Our source is a comprehensive guide titled The Art of Building a Successful Business.
Ah, yes. This book is a remarkable resource. It meticulously walks us through every critical stage from, identifying your core entrepreneurial spirit
Right.
through navigating the often complex world of finance, marketing, and team building, all the way to scaling for sustainable long-term success. It's just packed with actionable advice organized across 10 key areas.
So, our mission for you is to distill the most important nuggets of knowledge and truly practical strategies from this extensive guide. We want to give you a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed on what it actually takes to build a thriving venture.
Yeah, cut through the noise.
Exactly. Armed with insights that might surprise you and facts that truly highlight what matters most. Let's jump right in, starting with the very foundation.
The entrepreneurial mindset and purpose.
Okay, so what's immediately striking is how the source clarifies that entrepreneurship isn't just about, well, owning a business.
hmm
It's fundamentally about identifying opportunities, sometimes hidden ones, and then transforming them into viable ventures. The book vividly describes entrepreneurs not just as business owners, but as trailblazers.
I really appreciate that imagery,
Yeah.
trailblazer. It suggests someone who isn't just following a map, but actively creating one, right?
Precisely.
The book highlights vision, creativity, resilience, and a deep passion for innovation as essential traits. These are the people willing to take calculated risks and genuinely challenge the status quo.
So, if that's the spirit, what's the very first foundational step the book advises before you even write a single line of a business plan?
It emphasizes that self-reflection comes first, and it's more profound than just a casual thought. Before you dive headfirst into a business idea, it's crucial to assess your own strengths, weaknesses, and core motivations.
Okay.
By truly understanding yourself, you can align your entrepreneurial journey with your deepest values and aspirations. It makes it less likely you'll burn out or veer off course.
Yeah.
It asks, what do you actually want to build your life around? Not just, what's a good business idea?
That sounds logical, but for a budding entrepreneur who's probably juggling a day job and dreaming big, how do you actually carve out the time for that kind of meaningful self-reflection rather than just ticking a box? It sounds hard.
That's a great question because it's easy to skip. The book suggests integrating it. It's not like a one-time event, but an ongoing practice.
Wow.
Think of it as a mental check-in. What challenges truly energize you? What problems do you naturally gravitate towards solving? These aren't just questions for a journal. You can ask yourself while commuting or doing chores.
Right.
And beyond self-knowledge, the book talks about adapting to change, which is just non-negotiable in today's fast-moving world.
Right, because the market doesn't stand still for anyone.
Precisely. The source stresses recognizing the ever-changing business environment, staying updated on industry trends, market demands, emerging technologies. The ability to adapt and pivot isn't just a hallmark of success, it's a survival mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And it crucially touches on the vital role of financial literacy, understanding how to manage your finances and where and how to secure funding, along with building a strong network.
Yeah, you need people, mentors.
Like-minded individuals.
Exactly. You can't adapt in a vacuum.
So it's not just about having a brilliant idea, it's
Mm.
about the resilience to keep going when that idea inevitably hits a snag. Absolutely. The source makes a sharp distinction. It's not just about not giving up, but about how you process those setbacks.
Okay, how so?
Think of failure less as a wall and more like a poorly designed ladder that just showed you exactly where its weak points are so you can rebuild it stronger.
I like that.
It's about extracting data, even when that data feels like a punch to the gut. That ability to view setbacks as stepping stones towards growth and improvement, That's what truly sets successful entrepreneurs apart.
That's a powerful way to frame it. And speaking of passion and purpose, chapter 2 really dives into that. It talks about passion being the ultimate fuel that ignites motivation, making you lose track of time and pushing boundaries.
Hmm.
So how does the book suggest you truly unveil that passion? Because, follow your passion can feel a bit trite sometimes, can it?
It really can, which is why the book offers a deeper approach. It encourages reflection on what truly excites and energizes you, not what you think should excite you. What activities make you lose track of time and fill you with genuine joy? What subjects do you find yourself constantly researching or discussing with enthusiasm, even when no one asks you to? These aren't just hobbies. They're kind of like breadcrumbs leading to your core purpose.
And it's not just pure passion, right? It needs to be smart passion. I've heard stories of brilliant ideas that just withered because they didn't meet a real market need. Does the book offer any, red flags to watch out for there?
It does because while passion is fuel, it's definitely not a business plan. You need to complement that passion with your strengths, identifying unique skills and talents like leadership, creativity, problem solving, connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
This helps align your passion with a viable business idea. But then comes the vital check,
Mm-hmm.
market viability. The biggest red flag is falling in love with your solution before falling in love with your customer's problem.
Oh, that's where the rubber meets the road. It's not enough to be passionate. People actually have to want what you're passionate about and ideally pay for it.
Precisely. The source stresses the absolute need to evaluate market demand. Understand your target audience's specific needs and preferences, and realistically assess the existing competition. This isn't just, an academic exercise. It's about ensuring sustainability.
Yeah.
It's about balancing that internal fire of passion with the external reality of the market to create something truly sustainable and successful.
So once you think you've found that sweet spot, passion, strengths, and a viable market, how do you actually transform that initial spark into a business rather than just, well, a brilliant idea?
The guide outlines several crucial steps. First, craft a clear vision. This is your guiding light for clarity and direction, not just some vague hope. It's about defining the specific impact you want to have, the values you want to embody, and the precise problem you aim to solve for people.
And then importantly, they talk about a minimum viable product or MVP. This is something often misunderstood, I think.
It is. Many people think MVP is just about saving money, but the real insight is it's about learning faster. It's a crucial step of creating the simplest, most scaled-down version of your offering. Its purpose is to test your riskiest assumption with the least effort. It lets you gather initial feedback directly from the market, validate core concepts, and iterate rapidly before a full, resource-intensive launch.
Minimizes risk.
Exactly, and allows for agile refinement.
Then it's execution and iteration, which
Yeah.
implies, continuous analysis, refining based on customer feedback, adapting strategies. But the book also reminds us not to forget something deceptively simple, celebrating milestones.
That's a critical, often overlooked point. Acknowledging progress, whether it's landing your first customer, hitting a specific revenue goal, or even just successfully iterating on your MVP is vital. It helps maintain motivation and momentum, fuels that spirit through the long haul.
Okay, so you've got your mindset, your purpose, your passion aligned with market needs, and a clear vision. Now let's talk about the core building blocks of any actual business, starting with Chapter 3, developing a solid business plan. The book calls it a crucial roadmap. But why is it so crucial for you, the entrepreneur, not just for potential investors?
That's a key distinction. While it's vital for attracting capital, for you it's like an internal GPS.
Okay.
It outlines your goals, strategies, market analysis, financial projections. Without it, you're essentially driving cross-country. Without a map, you might get somewhere, but it won't be efficient or intentional. It provides clarity and forces you to think through critical elements you might otherwise overlook.
So let's unpack the key components of this roadmap. What's the very first section and what's the trick to it?
That would be the executive summary. This needs to be a concise, compelling overview designed to grab attention. The trick, however, is that it's written last.
Ah,
Once the rest of your detailed plan is complete, you need to know what you're summarizing before you try to summarize it. Makes sense, right?
makes perfect sense. You need to know where you're going before you write the directions. Then there's the company description.
That's where you define your business's core identity.
Mm-hmm.
Your mission, values, your unique selling propositions, or USPs, what makes you truly different. Your legal structure, key team members, assets. It's essentially your business's identity card.
Got it.
It should immediately answer, who are you and why do you exist?
And market analysis. This feels like it could be daunting.
It's detailed but foundational. Here, you define your target audience, demographics, psychographics, preferences, and you rigorously scrutinize your competition. This isn't about copying them. It's about identifying their strengths and weaknesses to inform your unique positioning and strategy. Where are the gaps they aren't filling?
Followed by products or services. Seems straightforward.
Mostly. You'll describe the key features and benefits of your offerings, highlighting your unique advantages and any proprietary tech that sets you apart. This is where you explain what you sell, and more importantly, why someone would want it.
And then the big one, marketing and sales strategies. This is where you actually tell people about what you've created.
Yeah, this is your comprehensive plan for reaching and converting customers. It covers everything from digital marketing, PR, social media, to your sales channels, pricing strategy, how you'll manage customer relationships, CRM.
Right.
A well-defined plan here positions your business to actually thrive, not just survive.
Next up, the operational plan. This feels like the nitty-gritty, how things actually happen day to day.
It is. This section outlines your day-to-day activities. Think location, facilities, your production processes, how your supply chain works, your staffing needs. It's all about ensuring the efficient, smooth functioning of your business behind the scenes.
And finally, the financial projections. This is what investors really pore over.
Absolutely critical for attracting investors, but also for your own reality check. It includes projected revenue, expenses, profit margins, cash flow analysis, break-even points. The book stresses a strong emphasis on realism here.
No hockey stick graphs unless they're real.
Exactly. Use credible data, not just wishful thinking.
It's not just about having a plan, though. The source talks about something else crucial: contingency and risk. Because let's face it, things will go wrong.
That's the hard truth of entrepreneurship, isn't it? A contingency plan is your backup strategy for those unexpected events. Economic downturns, supply chain disruptions, natural disasters, sudden changes in consumer behavior, whatever it might be.
Can be.
Yeah, it's about having a plan B so you're not caught completely off guard.
And risk management. What does that involve specifically?
This involves proactively implementing strategies like appropriate insurance coverage, general liability, property, professional liability, and establishing strong internal controls, such as regular financial audits and robust data security. The goal isn't to eliminate risk, because you can't.
Right.
It's to proactively minimize its potential impact.
What's fascinating here is that the book stresses that a business plan isn't a static document you write once and forget.
No way. It's a living document. It must evolve with your growth, with market changes, with feedback from stakeholders. Businesses that treat their plan as a set-it-and-forget-it document often find themselves irrelevant pretty quickly.
So you need to keep revisiting it.
Constantly. The most successful. Revisit and refine it constantly to remain competitive and resilient.
All right, let's talk about the lifeblood of any business: finances. Chapter 4 is all about financial management and budgeting. This feels especially crucial for beginners who might be juggling limited funds.
It truly is the absolute foundation for long-term financial health. The book outlines several key practices. First, rigorous, accurate record-keeping of all income and expenses.
Can't manage what you don't measure.
Exactly. You can't make informed decisions if you don't know where your money is going.
Yeah.
Then, clear financial planning and budgeting, setting specific goals, creating a detailed budget, and regularly reviewing it, not just once a year.
And cash flow, which everyone says is king. I've heard many businesses fail not because they weren't profitable on paper, but because they just ran out of cash.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Monitoring inflows and outflows is vital to ensure you always have liquidity. The source suggests practical ways to improve cash flow, like offering discounts for early payments, diligently following up on invoices, or optimizing inventory.
Smart.
It also highlights smart expense management, identifying cost-saving opportunities without compromising quality, maybe negotiating better deals with suppliers, and critically, managing debt judiciously. Always borrow with a solid repayment plan in mind.
Are there more advanced techniques it touches on for those who want to level up their financial game?
Yes. It recommends establishing a robust financial reporting system. So, regularly analyzing income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements for deeper insights.
Spotting trends.
Exactly. Spot trends, identify areas for improvement or potential problems early. Tax planning is also crucial, understanding your obligations and leveraging any available benefits or deductions. And of course, continuous education. Stay updated on financial literacy trends. The financial landscape is always shifting.
From the cold, hard numbers, let's pivot to getting noticed. Chapter 5 tackles marketing and branding strategies. It calls them the crucial duo. Why are they a duo and not just two separate things?
Because they're inseparable, really. Marketing communicates the value of your product or service, that's the message. But branding creates a distinct, memorable identity.
The feeling.
Yeah, the emotion, the values, the overall experience people associate with you. It goes far beyond just a logo or tagline. Marketing gets attention. Branding creates loyalty.
So how do you define that identity so it's not just another company in the crowd?
It starts with defining your target audience in intricate detail, understanding their deep-seated needs, preferences, even their behaviors. Then you develop your unique selling proposition, or USP.
What makes you different?
Right. The source gives a great example. ABC Co., a fashion startup. They didn't just sell clothes. Their USP was fashion with a conscience, emphasizing eco-friendly practices. That helped them stand out.
That connects with a specific value.
Exactly. They connected with customers who valued sustainability in a crowded market.
That's a perfect example of defining what truly sets you apart, and then choosing your channels and consistency. How does that work?
You need a strategic mix of channels. Digital marketing like SEO and PPC, maybe some traditional advertising, PR, social media. But crucially, consistency in messaging and visuals across all these channels is what reinforces your brand identity and makes it truly memorable.
Inconsistency confuses people.
Completely. It breeds confusion.
What are some specific strategies it recommends that are especially powerful now?
For digital marketing, it suggests robust SEO to optimize websites for higher search rankings, ensuring you're found when people search, and PPC for highly targeted campaigns, reaching specific demographics or keyword users.
And social media.
For social media, it's about building genuine loyalty, sharing valuable content, engaging through interactive polls or Q&A sessions, and maybe strategically collaborating with influencers who align with your brand values.
And then making it all about the experience for the customer, not just the product itself.
Yes, creating memorable brand experiences, going far beyond just delivering a product. It's about providing exceptional customer experiences at every single touch point.
Right.
Think personalized interactions, incredibly fast service, or seamless purchasing processes, like the refined experience you often get with Apple products or their support, for instance.
So once you're implementing these, how do you actually know if they're working or if you're just, throwing money into the wind?
That's where monitoring and adapting come in. You use key performance indicators, KPIs,
Right.
like customer engagement, website traffic, conversion rates, and return on investment, ROI, to fine-tune your strategies.
Yeah.
The book mentions Nike's robust branding and innovative campaigns and how Netflix uses continuous data analysis.
Oh, yeah, they're famous for that.
Exactly. They're prime examples of businesses that don't just market, but constantly learn and adapt based on hard data.
All right, so you've got your brand established and people are noticing. But all that effort funnels into one critical point: converting that interest into actual sales and then keeping those customers. How does the book approach that crucial moment of interaction in Chapter 6, Sales Techniques and Customer Service?
It focuses on a few key sales techniques for closing deals effectively. Active listening is paramount, truly understanding needs and pain points before you even think about pitching your solution.
Listen first.
Absolutely. Storytelling is powerful too, for captivating audiences and building trust. Using real customer success stories rather than just listing features, and leveraging social proof, things like testimonials, positive reviews, guarantees, or even trial periods builds credibility.
And building rapport. Sometimes that feels a bit forced. How does the book recommend doing it genuinely?
It's about authentic connection, researching prospects beforehand, showing genuine interest in their challenges, and focusing on creating trust. It also delves into overcoming objections.
Ah, the tricky part.
Right. Viewing them not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to address underlying concerns with confidence and deep product knowledge.
What about maximizing existing customer interactions? Not just focusing on getting new ones all the time.
That's where upselling and cross-selling come in, strategically offering higher-priced versions or maybe complementary products to what they've already shown interest in or purchased. And crucially, nurturing those relationships through excellent post-sale support, thoughtful follow-ups, maybe exclusive offers. These practices turn satisfied customers into powerful brand advocates. They do the selling for you.
So sales gets them in the door, but exceptional customer service keeps them coming back and talking about you. What does the book emphasize as the most impactful elements for loyalty and growth here?
Promptness is key. Swift responses to inquiries and complaints show you value their time. Personalization means tailoring interactions and using customer data responsibly for relevant recommendations.
Making them feel seen.
Exactly. Empathy involves truly understanding customer frustrations and creating a genuine human connection, even when issues arise, maybe especially when issues arise.
And what about continuous improvement in customer service? It feels like an endless task.
It is, in a good way. The book stresses actively seeking and using customer feedback through surveys, reviews, just asking. It also discusses anticipating needs by using data to proactively provide solutions, sometimes before the customer even realizes they have a problem.
That's impressive.
And finally, empowering your employees, giving them the tools, training, and authority to resolve issues on the spot. That fosters a truly customer-centric culture from the inside out.
We've covered the foundational blocks. Now let's talk about growth, resilience, and long-term success. Chapter 7 focuses on building a reliable team. It makes a very strong point. Success rarely happens alone.
It's absolutely true. Trying to do it all yourself is just a recipe for burnout and stagnation. A strong, reliable team isn't just helpful, it's crucial for scaling.
So where do you start?
The first step the book highlights is strategic hiring, identifying not just key roles, but the specific responsibilities and qualifications needed. It pushes you to craft detailed job descriptions that outline core competencies, values, even personality traits.
Culture fit.
Exactly, because culture fit is often as important as skill. Thorough interviews are essential to assess that deeper alignment, not just technical ability.
And once you've hired them, you can't just throw them in the deep end, can you? Hope for the best.
Definitely not. Effective training and onboarding are next. This means familiarizing new employees with company culture, policies, procedures, and providing clear opportunities for ongoing skill development. Then, fostering true collaboration through regular meetings, brainstorming sessions, and creating a culture of trust where individuals feel safe to express opinions and, crucially, learn from failures without fear of reprisal.
That sounds like a powerful foundation for a team. And then there's the ongoing leadership and continuous development aspect.
Strong leadership is paramount, guiding, motivating, inspiring by example, providing constructive feedback and meaningful recognition. Effective communication is also critical, having open dialogue and clear channels for ideas and concerns.
Listening again.
Always. And continuous development, encouraging professional growth through workshops, training, industry conferences, keeps your team sharp and engaged.
All of this contributing to what sounds like a really positive work environment overall.
Exactly. Promoting respect, inclusivity, appreciation, celebrating achievements big and small, and actively encouraging work-life balance are vital for team well-being, retention, and ultimately, your long-term business success. Happy teams do better work.
From building your internal team, let's look outward to Chapter 8, effective communication and networking. These are both fundamental for making connections and building your influence beyond your immediate team, right?
They truly lay the foundation for external success. For communication skills, it's about clarity and conciseness in conveying thoughts and ideas, whether written or spoken. And crucially, active listening, giving your full attention, not just waiting for your turn to speak, to truly understand underlying messages and emotions.
And it's not just what you say, but how you say it, isn't it? Our nonverbal cues often speak volumes.
Absolutely. Nonverbal cues like facial expressions, body language, gestures often speak louder than words. Maintaining appropriate eye contact, an open posture, a firm handshake. These can convey confidence and trustworthiness. And in today's digital world, written communication is equally critical. Clear, concise, professional emails, memos, social media posts, with meticulous attention to grammar and spelling. A simple typo can really undermine credibility.
Now, networking. The book highlights quality over quantity, which is a refreshing take in a world that often emphasizes just collecting business cards.
It is. It's about building genuine connections based on mutual respect and value, not just transactions. The book advises setting clear goals before attending events. What do you hope to gain or give? And approaching conversations with authenticity and genuine curiosity.
Listen more than you speak.
Exactly. And always follow up with personalized messages after meeting someone, reinforcing the connection. Don't just send a generic LinkedIn request.
And to really broaden your horizons, it talks about building a diverse network. Why is diversity important here?
Connecting with individuals from various backgrounds and industries can provide fresh perspectives and unique opportunities that you might never encounter otherwise. This often sparks innovation from unexpected sources.
Right.
And the book emphasizes continuous improvement in your own communication skills by actively seeking feedback and adapting to new communication trends and technologies. It's an ongoing process.
We've talked a lot about strategies for building and growing, but what happens when things inevitably go wrong? Chapter 9 is all about overcoming challenges and failure, which it calls inevitable obstacles in entrepreneurship. This feels like the most, well, human part of the journey.
It is because every single entrepreneur faces them. What's fascinating here is how it tackles common challenges head-on. The fear of failure, for instance.
Sure.
Huge. It's acknowledged as natural, but it emphasizes that nearly all successful entrepreneurs experience numerous failures. It's not about avoiding failure, but about embracing it as a crucial learning opportunity.
And lack of resources, that's a constant struggle for many startups. How do you tackle that, according to the book?
The book advises embracing resourcefulness, not just doing more with less, but cleverly seeking partnerships, outsourcing non-core functions, or exploring alternative funding models beyond traditional VCs or loans. It's about creativity and constraint. It also stresses navigating uncertainty and risk by being adaptable and willing to take calculated risks for growth, not reckless ones. And crucially, managing stress and work-life balance. Prioritizing self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity to avoid burnout.
So it's really about learning from those setbacks, transforming them into something useful.
Absolutely. The source stresses deep reflection, analyzing what went wrong without dwelling on blame, identifying specific areas for improvement, and then using that failure as a very concrete stepping stone. It's not just a cliche, it's an actionable process. Find the lesson.
And what kind of mindset and support does it recommend to stay resilient through it all? Because it sounds tough.
It is tough. It's about reframing challenges, seeing obstacles as opportunities for innovation and growth. Building a strong support network, mentors, business coaches, like-minded individuals is vital for guidance and encouragement when you feel lost or overwhelmed. Crucially, it highlights adaptability and flexibility, the willingness to pivot and embrace change when the market or circumstances demand it. Staying focused on clear, smart goals and practicing self-compassion by prioritizing mental and physical well-being are non-negotiables for the long game. You have to take care of yourself.
Finally, the ultimate goal for many, scaling up and long-term success, Chapter 10. The dream of growth beyond just surviving, right? Making a real impact.
It symbolizes reaching new heights, but it requires incredibly careful planning and, often, a shift in mindset from founder to leader. Foundational steps include maintaining a clear vision and setting realistic yet ambitious goals for this next stage.
Redefining success.
Exactly. Defining what success truly looks like now and creating a detailed roadmap to get there. Then building a truly scalable business model, streamlining operations, increasing efficiency, and strategically using technology to automate processes wherever possible.
And a strong team again, but perhaps a different kind of strength is needed now.
Precisely. Now it's about delegating effectively, empowering your team members to take ownership, and fostering an environment where innovation isn't just encouraged, but expected and rewarded.
Letting go a bit.
Yeah, that can be hard for founders. Also, robust systems and processes are key documenting workflows, creating standard operating procedures, SOPs, leveraging technology solutions for consistency and quality as you expand. Things can't just live in your head anymore.
What about the market as you grow? Do you keep watching it the same way?
You need to elevate your market monitoring and adaptation, keep an even closer eye on competitors, anticipate industry trends, and maintain an agile approach to respond quickly. And, critically, customer feedback needs to be systematized.
How so?
Regularly seeking input through multiple channels and acting on it is essential to continuously improve products and services and retain customers, even at scale. You can lose touch otherwise.
And what are some of the advanced scaling strategies it talks about that really make a difference at this stage?
Strategic partnerships are high on the list. Collaborating with complementary businesses can open new markets, provide access to resources, share expertise. The source gives a classic example of a small bakery partnering with a popular local coffee shop, instantly expanding reach for both.
Smart synergy.
Exactly.
And the role of technology and innovation, it feels like that's just accelerating constantly.
It's absolutely central. Embracing technology, from advanced automation tools to cloud solutions and sophisticated data analytics, is no longer optional for significant scaling. The book highlights how e-commerce platforms completely revolutionize retail, enabling global reach for small businesses.
Right.
Or how Netflix analyzes user data, not just for recommendations, but to inform its entire content strategy. That's scaling with data.
And maintaining that customer focus even as you grow into a huge enterprise. Apple is often cited for this, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes, a customer-centric approach remains vital. Prioritizing excellent service and personalized experiences, even with growth, is what builds lasting loyalty. Apple's consistent approach to customer experience across all its products and services is a prime example. In
Mm-hmm.
effective marketing and branding, establishing a strong, consistent brand identity and strategic campaigns citing Nike's global impact are key to maintaining market presence during growth.
And finally, data to guide it all, not just instinct anymore.
Absolutely. Continuously monitoring KPIs, assessing financial health, customer acquisition and retention rates, operational efficiency becomes paramount for making truly data-driven decisions and adapting intelligently to changing market dynamics. Growth without data is just guessing, and guessing gets expensive when you scale.
Wow. Okay. We've journeyed through the multifaceted world of building a successful business, haven't we? From finding your initial spark and crafting a detailed plan,
Yeah, the whole life cycle.
to mastering sales, leading a diverse team, embracing inevitable setbacks, and ultimately achieving truly sustainable growth.
You now have, I hope, a solid understanding of the principles, the actionable strategies, and even specific examples that underpin entrepreneurial success. It should give you a distinct advantage as you approach your own ventures or ideas.
And maybe a final thought. The path to building a successful business seems less about meticulously avoiding every single challenge and far more about how relentlessly you adapt and learn from them.
That resilience piece again.
Exactly. The true art lies not just in that initial dream or even the perfect plan on paper, but in the continuous dedication to evolving yourself and your vision, turning every obstacle into a stepping stone for whatever comes next.